While waiting to welcome our brand new female CEO, my coworker whispered some naughty things to me. I heard the new CEO has an absolutely killer body. I wonder if she's super sweet and soft on the inside, too. I was just about to reply, but then I looked at the woman stepping out of the elevator, right in the center of the crowd. How could it be her? God, why is my life so miserable? The brand new CEO princess is actually the ex-girlfriend I dumped 4 years ago. She walked straight into the CEO's office. The three of us exchanged a look, and resignedly followed right behind her. Shu Anon is tall and stunning, looking incredibly cold and noble. But I'm the only one who knows. This woman has a secret side to her. I am Shu Anon. Starting today, I am taking over as the executive CEO of Chen & Group. We will be working closely together. I only have one rule. Do not make decisions behind my back. Understood, Ms. Shu? Introduce yourselves. You, go first. Hello, Ms. Shu. My name is Chao Chen. My daily responsibility is handling all of the CEO's schedule arrangements, including business trips. Hello, Ms. Shu. I'm Fang Zhang. Half an hour later, the three of us walked out of the CEO's office. I was completely out of it. Yi Junhao had to call my name several times before I finally snapped back to reality. Chen, Chen, I've been calling you forever. What are you daydreaming about? Chen, what's wrong with you? It's nothing. What were you guys just talking about? We were just saying how gorgeous Ms. Shu is. It's a damn shame she's not a model with a body like that. Her face is literally flawless from all 360 degrees. I wonder if she has a totally different side in private, like, being super clingy? She's psycho clingy. Chen, what did you just say? Psycho? I didn't quite catch that. It's nothing. Meanwhile, inside the CEO's office, Shu Anon's phone rang and she answered it. Anon, you're back in the country? Yeah. Is there a rule saying I can't be? I didn't say that. It's just, why did you go to Chenin? Do you have any idea that Chao Chen works there too? Don't bring him up. I don't know anyone by that name. So stubborn. You don't know the name? Then how do you explain the violet and little sheep tattoos on your back shoulder? How do you explain those, huh? Why on earth would I need to explain myself to you? Whatever, I'm hanging up. I have to work. Violets are Chen's favorite flower. And the little sheep is because Chen is an Aries. Back in the main office, I was slumping over my desk, completely spacing out. Shu Anon, long time no see. It's been 4 years. She must be dating someone by now, right? Wait, no. She's probably married by now. Chen, what's up, Junhao? What's wrong with you? Did something happen? It's nothing, I just stayed up too late last night. I'm just feeling a little under the weather. Anyway, what do you need? The HR director just sent out a notice. They said there isn't a suitable assistant right now, so they're picking one of us to temporarily take over the assistant role. It comes with a pay raise, too. So, which one of us is doing it? I'm definitely not. You guys go for it. I'm not exactly desperate for money anyway. Fang Zhang needs it way more than I do. He and his girlfriend are planning to buy a house for their wedding soon. But, Chen, out of the three of us, you're the best fit for the job. In the previous CEO's eyes, you were basically half an assistant already. Sigh. President Shu is a bit fierce. I'm scared. The woman coming down the stairs suddenly paused her steps. I'm fierce? Chen is afraid of me? No way, right? I mean, sure, President Shu seems a little cold. But she isn't really mean, is she? Plus, she's drop-dead gorgeous. I wonder if her boyfriend, looking at that 360-degree flawless face of hers, can actually hold himself back. Whoa, Chen, why are you choking? Are you okay? Wait, boyfriend? You mean husband, right? After all, she had a fiancé 4 years ago. There's no way they aren't married by now. And I've seen it myself. She actually smiles at him. Fang Zhang suddenly rushed over and clamped a hand over his mouth. Chen, look at the message the HR director just sent us. President Shu went to Jiushang University too, but she was in the finance department. Just looking at her, you can tell she was definitely the campus belle. Did you not know her? Dude, you literally just said she was the campus belle. Come on, with my plain and ordinary face? I'd never even get the chance to meet the campus belle. I've literally already slept with her, yet I still have the nerve to say I'd never meet her. Chen, where on earth did you get the idea that your face is plain and ordinary? It's only the middle of the month, and do you know how many love bento boxes we've already had to finish for you? Well, isn't that great? Saves you guys from having to buy lunch. Gee, thanks a lot. Hey, you're welcome. A moment later, the guys suddenly shot up from their seats, staring at the woman standing by the emergency stairwell. I suddenly felt a wave of panic. Why is she here? How long has she been standing there? Ha ha, President Shu, why did you come down here yourself? Do you have any orders for us? You could have just called us on the intercom. I just came down to check on the assistant's office. Shu Anon glanced around the room, and her expression softened just a bit. The HR department should have informed you by now. I need a temporary assistant. I've looked over all 3 of your resumes, as well as your work records over the past 2 years. I've got a clear picture of things now. Yi Junhao, your role involves a lot of direct contact with clients. I need you to coordinate a handover with Chao Chen. Aside from managing my schedule, I want you to take over the rest of the work he currently has on his plate. Starting tomorrow, Chao Chen will temporarily take over the executive assistant position. Yi Junhao simply nodded. Fang Zheng didn't have any objections either. President Shu, I'm really not the right fit for the executive assistant position. Junhao has worked much closer with the previous assistant before. He's a much better fit than I am. Are you the CEO, or am I? Shu Anon gave me a long, hard stare, then turned on her heel and walked into the elevator. What a psycho. So what if she's the CEO? I don't want to do this. Oh God, what am I gonna do? Somebody, please save me. Ah Chen, why do you look like you're being marched to the guillotine? Being the executive assistant is a great gig. The benefits are amazing, plus it's a huge promotion. And you're still not happy about it? No, I'm not happy. I don't want to go. Junhao, Zheng, come on, you guys gotta help me think of a way out of this. Dude, she's the CEO. What exactly are we supposed to do about it? Don't worry, Ms. Shu shouldn't be as hard to deal with as the last CEO. You're going up there to live the dream. 1 hour later, I went up to the CEO's office, even though I knew things were over between us. Hearing her icy voice still stung. I pulled myself together, pasting a polite, professional smile on my face. Pushing the door open, I saw Shu Anon sitting at her desk. Her slender fingers tapping away at the keyboard. She didn't even look up once. But from the moment I stood outside that glass door, she saw my shadow. A shadow she could never forget for the rest of her life. I've never worked as an assistant before. Are you unhappy with the transfer? No, I just feel that. And who exactly are you to feel anything? The smile completely froze on my face. She was right. Who was I to her now? Now, she's just my boss. If you don't want the job, go hand in your resignation to our. She was so cold and distant. It was as if we were total strangers. Resign? Why the hell would I resign? I worked my ass off to go from an intern making $6,000 a month to a monthly salary of $18,000 plus a $60,000 year-end bonus. Why on earth would I quit? Ms. Shu, I have a quick question. Will my salary be affected by this position transfer? What's your current monthly salary? $18,000. I kept up my standard corporate smile. Her slender fingers lightly tapped the desk. $18,000 is a bit too high. I almost lost my polite smile. Ms. Shu, what exactly do you mean by that? I recall that internal transfers at Chenon require a 1-month probationary period. Since you're on probation, your pay should be adjusted to the probationary rate. I finally got it. She meant that by becoming her executive assistant, I'd have to take a massive pay cut. I let out a bitter, angry laugh. Tell me then, Ms. Shu, what is the probationary salary for this role? Shu Anon casually pressed the intercom on her desk. What's the probationary pay for an executive assistant? $12,000. Understood. She hung up the phone. Her icy voice carried absolutely zero warmth. You heard her. Any other questions, Assistant Chow? I ripped off my employee badge. No questions. I quit. Just as I turned around to storm out, I heard the woman's maddeningly calm voice. If I'm not mistaken, Assistant Chow's employment contract was just renewed last year. An executive assistant handles the vast majority of our company's highly confidential data. You are required to submit a 30-day notice and cooperate with the legal department for a full handover. Leaving without notice is a breach of contract. You'd owe the company 24 months of salary and damages. Based on your current salary, that comes out to exactly $432,000. But since you've slaved away here for 4 years, we'll round it down. $430,000 flat will do. Wire it to the corporate account before you go. There is no penalty clause like that in my contract. Should I give you a 90-degree bow, Ms. Shu? Thank you so much for knocking $2,000 off the price. Other employees don't have it, but you do. I finally got it. She was doing this on purpose. Deliberately making my life hell. Extorting money from employees like this. I'll report you to the labor board. Shu Anon just calmly stood up, completely unbothered. Go ahead. I turned around and left. The business world is only so big. Assistant Chow, you'd better get ready to change careers. I've held it in, but I just can't take it anymore. Shu Anon, you're pushing me. So what if I am? Beg me. I might consider signing your resignation. I won't beg. I didn't even care about my ID badge anymore. I yanked the glass door open. I marched into the assistant's office next door. The second the door clicked shut, I couldn't hold back my emotions any longer. 4 years ago, I already let you off the hook. What more do you want from me? What else do you expect me to do? After letting it all out, I booted up my computer. I drafted my resignation and fired it off to the HR director's inbox. Less than a minute later, Shu Anon already knew about it. Request denied. The HR director gave me a call right after. Ah Chen, are you really quitting? Are you unhappy with the new salary package? Ah Chen, you've been with us for 4 years, and your skills are top-notch. I know 26,000 is a bit low for a chief assistant. But the quarterly and year-end bonuses are pretty hefty, aren't they? I was completely lost. Director Chen, what exactly do you mean by that? Didn't you check your email? Boss Shu just gave everyone in the assistant's office a raise. That's a solid 8,000 bump in total. I quickly clicked on the unread email from 5 minutes ago. It clearly stated that my pay bump was taking effect this very month. Ah Chen, you there, Ah Chen? Yeah, I'm listening. Was this Boss Shu's idea? Yeah, exactly, 2 hours ago. She casually brought up the pay raise. I had to hash it out with the finance director before sending you guys the email. After I hung up the phone. 2 hours ago, that was before she even came down to the assistant's office. Then why the hell was she giving me such a hard time earlier? The schedule for the executive assistants always revolves around the boss. Only when the boss leaves for the day can we corporate grunts finally go home. My pinned WeChat group suddenly chimed. Oh my god, Boss Shu is an absolute goddess. No more working late, finally. Compared to her, Joe the slave driver is practically a monster. Why is Ah Chen so quiet? Replying to Def Dewey, is the chief assistant just super swamped right now? I glanced at the newly added work group on my WeChat. She had sent a message there not long ago. We won't be needing to work overtime. Yi Junhao and Fang Zheng had both chimed in with their replies. I was the only one who hadn't. 1, 2, 3. I'm not busy, just hadn't checked my phone. I really didn't want to reply to her message in the group. I literally just told her I was quitting. I call bull on this. There is no way she doesn't know about the email I sent to our. Whatever, I don't care anymore. I'll just go back to being a corporate grunt. And she can just keep playing boss. Pulling myself together, I took the fire stairs down from the assistant's office. Shu Anon stood up the second I walked past. She grabbed her phone and car keys. As the elevator doors slid open, the 3 people waiting outside saw her inside, freezing up, completely unsure if they should get in or not. Aren't you guys taking the elevator? Yi Junhao finally reacted, dragging one of them into the elevator by the arm. Fang Zheng noticed me. I was feeling a bit down. Ah Chen, what's wrong? The woman standing next to us looked a little worried. I shook my head. Nothing. I probably just didn't get enough sleep. You guys don't need to worry about me. After stepping out of the elevator, Yi Junhao and Fang Zheng joked with me. Assistant Chow, you make what, 300 to 400,000 a year with your salary and bonuses? How come you still can't bear to sell this crappy Wuling of yours and get a new one? Yi Junhao jingled his car keys. There's a massive subsidy of tens of thousands to buy a car right now, plus the company covers 20%. It saves you a ton of money. Just get a new ride. I laughed, pulling my car keys out of my bag. It works perfectly fine, why would I replace it? I've got other plans for my money. Hey, it's not often we get off work early. Let's grab dinner together. Barbecue, hot pot, Japanese food? I'll pass. I just moved into a new rental and I'm still not completely used to the place. I need to head back early. I didn't dare bring up the dog waiting at home. Afraid someone might be eavesdropping. Another time, when my place is all sorted out, you guys can come over for hot pot. Shu Anon had been standing right behind us this whole time. She waited until we got into our cars before her driver pulled the white Phantom up in front of her. She pulled out her phone and made a call. Find out exactly where Chao Chen's new rental is. On the other end of the line, He Yanchun teased her. I thought you didn't care? Shu Anon stayed silent for a long moment. Alright, Boss Shu. Give me 10 minutes. Shu Anon hung up, looking satisfied. The rush hour traffic was brutal, but that little electric car weaved through the congestion with ease. Seeing this, Shu Anon's driver couldn't help but make a snide remark. Who actually likes these tiny electric cars? I mean, they look fine. But if they ever catch fire, nothing's left but a metal frame. Uncharacteristically, Shu Anon chimed in. Are these cars really that unsafe? Hey, what do you expect, boss? How safe can a cheap car be? You only get airbags if you buy the premium trim. Boss Shu, what did you say? I said, ram into it. The driver squeezed his eyes shut and slammed on the gas pedal. He rear-ended the little Wuling right in front of them. Shu Anon seemed completely unfazed by the impact. Her body didn't even budge, but she watched the little car ahead jolt violently. Couldn't you have tapped it gently? What if someone got hurt? That's not fair, Boss Shu. I swear I wasn't going fast. I barely even touched the gas. A phantom had just rear-ended a tiny electric car. Every bystander on the street was suddenly jealous of the little car's owner. Meanwhile, I was sitting there, completely dazed after being hit. I hadn't been driving for long, so my skills were still pretty rusty. Usually, I was the one bumping into other people's cars. I couldn't believe I actually got rear-ended this time. Thinking about this, I glanced up into my rearview mirror. A Rolls-Royce? Oh my god, they're not going to make me pay for the damages, are they? I'm dead, I am so dead. Say goodbye to my peaceful life. The universe seriously has it out for me. Panicking, I frantically opened WeChat to check my balance. 58,300. That should be enough to cover it, right? This is my entire bank balance. Other than this, I'm completely tapped out. Just then, someone knocked on my car window. I instantly tensed up. I could even hear my own heartbeat. So, I took a deep breath and rolled down the window. There stood an ordinary-looking middle-aged man, smiling awkwardly at me as he spoke. So sorry, man. I couldn't brake in time. Could you step out and check the damage? It's completely our fault. Well, since he was being so polite about it, it would feel weird if I didn't get out. Sure. I unbuckled my seatbelt and followed the driver to the back of my car. Seeing the completely caved in front of that Rolls-Royce, my vision literally went dark. I could already picture my miserable future. Wait, are you seriously taking full responsibility? I don't have to pay a dime? Yes sir, please tell us how we should compensate you. Inside the car, the young miss thought to herself, I need to buy him a brand new car. Can't you just take a hint? Don't make this hard for me. I reached out and touched the scraped paint on my rear bumper. Even though my heart was bleeding, I still managed to politely say, oh, no need. It looks like you guys got the worst of it. Don't worry about paying me. I can just fix it myself. Just then, Shu Anon stepped out of the Rolls-Royce. The driver instantly stood up straight, and respectfully reported to her, Miss, this gentleman says we don't need to compensate him. Shu Anon shot him a glare, and the driver immediately shut his mouth. Then, she turned to me and said, I'm so sorry. It's all my driver's fault for going too fast. I will personally compensate you. The driver's eyes widened in shock. My fault? Didn't you order me to ram into him, miss? How am I suddenly the scapegoat here? Where is the justice? Hearing that familiar voice, I froze for a second, then gasped in surprise. Boss Shu? Shu Anon gave a cold, distant ahem, and then said, buy a new car yourself and expense it, or let the company buy one for you. Pick one. No, really, my car is perfectly fine. There's no need to replace it, it's nothing, Boss Shu. Shu Anon fell silent for a few seconds. Come to my office tomorrow morning. If I let Chao Chen buy it, he'll probably just get the exact same model again. Boss Shu, you really don't need to pay me. It's just a little scratched paint. This car is still incredibly practical. Shu Anon let out a soft scoff. Then, she repeated the word, practical? I was totally baffled by her reaction. I'm not wrong, it really is very, but before I could even finish my sentence, I was absolutely stunned by what Shu Anon did next. Hey, what are you doing? I watched as Shu Anon got back into her car, threw it in reverse, and backed up. I instantly realized what she was up to. I jumped right in front of my car and screamed at her. Shu Anon, have you lost your mind? Stop the car. This guy is hardcore. He actually dared to yell Boss Shu's full name. The window rolled down, and Shu Anon poked her head out. Old Shu, drag him out of the way. Old Shu didn't dare disobey. Sir, please forgive me. Hearing a loud bang, I stood there completely dumbfounded, staring at my overturned electric car in front of me. I shook off Old Shu and confronted her. Shu Anon, are you out of your mind? Why the hell would you crash into my car for no reason? Looking at the horribly smashed Phantom, only Old Shu stood on the side, his heart bleeding for the car. It's a global limited edition. Are all rich people really this crazy? This is a Rolls-Royce Phantom we're talking about, and she just rams it like it's nothing. Right then, Shu Anon stepped out of her car, walked straight up to me, and said, come to my office tomorrow. To pick up your car keys. I completely ignored what she said, and just pulled out my phone to call the insurance company. Seeing that I wasn't leaving, Shu Anon leaned against her heavily damaged hood, looking like she was ready to fight me to the bitter end. Old Shu carefully spoke up, license plate, 1A88888. Boss Shu. Should we call the insurance company? Call what insurance? You think I can't afford to pay for a crappy little car? Old Shu looked at the smashed hood she was sitting on, and muttered, then what about your car? Shu Anon just stared at me as I stood by the road making my call. And said, fix it. If it can't be fixed, just scrap it. Old Shu let out a heavy sigh of relief. Phew, thank goodness. Thank goodness it's not going straight to the scrapyard. Because it was the evening rush hour. The insurance company took an hour and a half to get there. Seeing the overturned Wuling and the Phantom. The agent asked, Mr. Chow, are you absolutely sure she hit you? And not that you flipped the car yourself? Are you blind? Can't you see what happened here? 888, give me an estimate for the car's repair costs right now. Just make her pay for it. 888, I was absolutely furious. You've got some nerve, Shu Anon. You really are haunting me like a ghost. Nothing good ever happens when I bump into her. After sorting out the accident, I suddenly remembered Lightning back at home. Please take care of the car for me and just contact me if there are any follow-up issues. After telling the staff that, I went back to my car, grabbed my valuables and started walking up the overpass. Seeing me weaving through the traffic, Shu Anon let out a heavy sigh and followed right behind me. I spotted her and yelled out, stop following me. What? Do you own shares in this road too? Are you gonna stop me from walking here? After that, I just ignored her and kept stubbornly walking straight ahead. Luckily, once I got off the overpass, it was only 2 traffic lights away from my newly rented place. It wasn't too far, otherwise, the walk would have literally killed me. I rented a small 1-bedroom apartment. I got really lucky and found a young couple who were subletting it. So I got an absolute steal. Right before walking into the building, for some reason, I glanced back over my shoulder, but I didn't see her anywhere. I breathed a sigh of relief. But what I didn't know was, the exact moment I turned away, the woman stepped right out from the shadows. Shu Anon stood downstairs counting the seconds. When she saw the lights turn on, she immediately smiled to herself, so, he's on the 8th floor. Chow Chen, you can never, ever escape me. As the electronic lock clicked open, I heard a sad, pitiful little whimper, so I immediately scooped him up in my arms. Lightning, Daddy's home. It's all your mother's fault. It's all that evil woman's fault that I came back so late. Lightning is a corgi. We got him back when Shu Anon and I were still dating. When we broke up, I waited until she wasn't paying attention and completely sneaked him back to my place. After I got out of the shower, I figured I'd take Lightning downstairs for a walk and grab some dinner while I was at it. Maybe he'd been cooped up inside for too long, because the second we got downstairs, he just bolted. Lightning, slow down. I was honestly speechless. Where does this little guy get all that strength? Am I walking him, or is he walking me? Right as we reached the neighborhood gate, Shu Anon was just getting into her chauffeured car. Catching a glimpse of a familiar figure in the rearview mirror, she suddenly said, stop the car. The car pulled over, watching me jog awkwardly while getting dragged by the dog. Caught Shu Anon's eye and she let out an amused, exasperated laugh. So, a certain someone didn't just steal my heart. He stole my dog, too. On the day we broke up, I had got him completely wasted at a bar. When I came home, I noticed the front door of my place wasn't shut tight. And my dog was gone. I just assumed he had run out on his own. I offered a massive reward but never found him. I never imagined there was an actual dog thief. Oh my god, you little menace, please just stop for a second. I'm literally going to die of exhaustion. I was feeling a bit hungry anyway, so I wanted to grab some wontons from across the street. I wrapped the leash tightly around my hand and crossed the road. Shu Anon watched the guy and the dog walk into the shop. Before finally telling her driver to get going, Lightning seemed to sense something and kept turning back and barking. I followed his gaze and looked out the door, just in time to see a black car driving away. I quickly scolded the dog. What are you barking at? Quiet down. After finishing my meal, I got a text from the insurance company. They said Shu Anon had agreed to settle our claim privately, and they even sent me her phone number. Also, according to the insurance policy, the company paid me 55,000 yuan in vehicle compensation. Back home, I put Lightning into his little bed next to mine and squatted down beside him. I mumbled to him, Lightning, I saw her again today. She hasn't changed one bit. She's still just as annoying. As I kept talking, I slumped down onto the floor, gently petting his head. What do I do, buddy? I've been trying so hard not to think about her. Why did she have to show up again? She's probably married by now, right? Sensing his owner's sadness, the little pup affectionately nuzzled my hand. Lightning, do you want your real dad or a stepdad? If you want a stepdad, I'll give you right back to your mom. After Lightning gave a few soft whimpers, I patted his head again and tucked him back into his bed. I climbed into my own bed and unlocked my phone. I switched over to my alternate account. There, sitting in my block list, was an account that matched our old company group chat. She hadn't changed her WeChat ID. Removed from block list. Had she been waiting for me this whole time? The moment that thought crossed my mind, something possessed me, and I actually unblocked her. Meanwhile, fresh out of the shower, Shu Anon was sitting on her sofa in a bathrobe, holding her phone. With a glass of red wine in her other hand. If you're so over him, she muttered to herself. Then why look up his address? What, are you planning a midnight dog heist, or getting revenge? A breakup shouldn't be this bad, right? Shu Anon suddenly asked. When did her mother pass away? I think it was 6 months after you guys broke up. Shu Anon opened WeChat, her finger habitually tapping the pinned contact at the top. The very last message was from 4 years ago, the day their dog went missing. Chen, do you not want me anymore? Why doesn't even Lightning want me anymore? She scrolled up through hundreds of messages, but not a single one had actually been sent. Her finger tapped the screen a few times, and unexpectedly, the message went through. Shu Anon put down her wine glass, frantically trying to unsend it, only to realize it was too late to take it back. So, she had no choice but to find Chao Chen in the workgroup chat and send him a friend request. After waiting for a few minutes, there was still no response. Fine, just fine, Chen. You've really got nerve. Early the next morning, before my alarm even went off, I was woken up by the dog. I know, Lightning. I reached out and pulled him into my arms. Rubbing his head, I grabbed my phone and noticed an unread message. I opened it, just about to check, but my grip slipped, and the phone smacked right onto the dog's head. Lightning let out a painful yelp. I quickly hugged him and gave him a big kiss, then picked up my phone to keep reading. I saw that the person I had unblocked last night sent a few words. You stole my dog. Seeing this, I instantly gave his little snout a gentle squeeze and playfully scolded him. Lightning, did you secretly tell her you were hiding out at my place? Huh? Speak up. Has Daddy not been good to you? With his snout held shut, Lightning looked completely innocent. He was clearly the real victim here. I didn't reply to her text. I wanted to just block her again, but that felt way too suspicious, like I was guilty of something. Forget it, I'll just switch back to my main account. Once I switched over, I saw a new friend request notification. My first instinct was to hit reject. But then I thought about it, she's my direct boss now. It wouldn't be a good look to ignore it, right? Whatever, never mind. I'll just pretend I didn't see it. Seriously, what kind of normal boss sends a friend request to an employee in the middle of the night? After washing up, I finally remembered that my scooter got wrecked by that capitalist boss. I had no choice but to catch a cab. During the morning rush hour, I was stuck waiting in line for a cab for over 10 minutes. By the time I sprinted into the company lobby, I was already cutting it close. Seeing the elevator doors about to shut, I yelled, "Wait, hold the door. Chao Chen?" I really should have checked if today was cursed before I left the house. Shu Anon was standing right there next to the finance director. I froze for a few seconds, caught between stepping in and backing out. Ultimately, I bit the bullet and stepped into the elevator. Compared to this absolute awkwardness, I cared a whole lot more about my perfect attendance bonus. I put on a polite face and greeted them. Good morning, Ms. Shu. Good morning, Director Zhang. Well, Chow, it's rare to see you cutting it this close. Because of that text I saw this morning, I completely avoided making eye contact with the woman standing next to me. Did she actually know I had Lightning, or did she text the wrong person? I had no idea. I had to take a cab today, so I'm a bit late. A cab? What happened to your scooter? Some jerk knocked it over. Oh wow, who did that? Her driving skills are so terrible, haha. I let out a light chuckle and didn't say anything else. But in my heart, I thought, isn't that terrible driver the exact person standing right next to you? I've got to admit, her driving really is pretty awful. Just then, the elevator stopped on the 16th floor, and the finance director waved goodbye to the two of us. As he stepped out, it was just me and Shu Anon left inside. The atmosphere suddenly got awkwardly tense. I kept my eyes glued to the jumping numbers on the display until it hit the 30th floor. The moment the doors opened, I bolted out, speed walking straight toward the emergency stairwell. The two people at the secretary's desk didn't even have time to say hello before a literal gust of wind blew right past them. Junhao. Was that Chao Chen just now? Just as Yi Junhao was about to reply, he saw Boss Shu immediately put down his coffee and stood up. Good morning, Boss Shu. Fang Zhang belatedly realized what was happening, but by the time he got ready to greet her, Shu Anon had already stepped into the transfer elevator. Afterward, Fang Zhang kept asking curiously, so the reason Chao Chen was running so fast was because he was in the same elevator as Boss Shu? No wonder he was late today. He's usually the very first one here. Meanwhile, I slipped into my office a split second before her elevator stopped. Shu Anon could still catch a fleeting glimpse of the chief assistant. The corners of her lips curled up slightly, and she muttered with a teasing smile, "Coward." Then she thought to herself, "Chao Chen, how come after not seeing each other for so long, you've gotten even more timid? It was just a shared elevator ride. Did it really scare you that much? Do I look that terrifying?" Meanwhile, I hurriedly grabbed my laptop. I walked over to the office door next door, just as I raised my hand, debating whether or not to knock. The door was suddenly pulled open, and my hand almost smashed right into Shu Anon's face. She looked at me with a playful smirk. "Time for the meeting, Boss Shu," I said. "What's the matter, Assistant Chow? Do you hold a grudge against me?" I completely ignored her teasing, and just kept my hand held out. Shu Anon looked at my gesture, and let out a soft laugh. "What do you want, money or the car? I'll give you the car keys later." I rolled my eyes at her, and just walked straight away. She watched my retreating back, and thought to herself, "Chao Chen, you are absolutely failing at being an ex. A proper ex should just act like they're dead. But showing up over and over again like this, what exactly are you trying to do? Are you testing me?" Later, inside the conference room, as the CEO's assistant, I was in charge of hosting the meeting. Even though I really didn't want to admit it, Shu Anon truly did have a captivating charm when she was seriously focused on her work. Assistant Chow, Assistant Chow. By the time I snapped out of my daze, the people in the conference room were already filtering out. Yi Junhao and Fang Zhang were packing up their laptops and documents, too, and shot me a look that clearly said, "Good luck, buddy." Just as I closed my laptop and got ready to stand up, someone patted my shoulder. During that 2-hour meeting, Assistant Chow spent an hour and a half just staring at me. "What, are you harboring some improper thoughts about me?" I guiltily dodged her gaze and shot back. "Stop making things up. How did you even know I was looking at you? Unless Boss Shu is also harboring some feelings for me?" Shu Anon let out a laugh, and then smoothly changed the subject, saying, "Assistant Chow, did you get the message I sent you last night?" "No." Shu Anon chuckled lightly. "You answered way too fast. What's wrong? Feeling guilty, Assistant Chow? Then what about you stealing my dog?" I felt totally exposed. I let out a light cough. "Boss Shu, you need evidence to make claims like that. We aren't exactly close. Your dog went missing. Why assume I stole it?" Seeing me refuse to admit it, her smile only grew deeper and she just kept stepping closer to me. With every step she took forward, I took a step back. Step by step, until my back finally hit the conference table. I had nowhere left to run. "What the hell do you want? I did lose a dog, but I don't recall saying you were the one who stole it. And about us not being close, then what's my absolute favorite thing? Assistant Chow should know that best. You call that not being close? Boss Shu, what your favorite thing is, that's something your partner should know better. I only know what my girlfriend likes best. If there's nothing else, please step aside. I need to get back to work." "Chao Chen, say that one more time. Who do you know best?" "Boss Shu, you're awfully young to be hard of hearing. I know the head of internal medicine at Zhongcheng Hospital. I can get you an appointment with a specialist. Get the hell out of here." Well, I got out of there as fast as I could. She let out a cold scoff and headed back to the CEO's office. Meanwhile, inside the office, He Zhao was sprawled out on the couch playing a video game. "Push. Oh, what the hell? Are you guys brain dead? Why are you hesitating now? Don't be such cowards. I can't believe this. What a bunch of absolute idiots." Furious, He Zhao quit the game and tossed her phone onto the couch. She looked up just in time to see Shu Anon walk in with a deadpan expression and slam the door shut. As she walked over, she shot a glare at He Zhao's legs resting on the coffee table. Then she snapped, "Get your feet off the table." Seeing her sour mood, He Zhao instantly knew what was up. Leaning in for the gossip, she teased, "Did your precious darling make you mad again? If you can't say anything useful, then shut it. He means absolutely nothing to me." Hearing her response, He Zhao burst out laughing. "How did you even know who I was talking about? Just admit it, Anon. You're still in love with him. Even though you two broke up 4 years ago, you still can't get over him." "What do you mean, I still love him? Are you out of your mind?" "He Zhao, I think you've actually gone crazy." He Zhao didn't get mad. She just leaned back lazily on the couch, and drawled slowly, "Do I need to remind you? Not only do you not have a boyfriend, but you also lost your dog." How utterly tragic, mighty CEO Shu. Shu Anon paused, tightening her grip on her pen, then pulled out her phone and tapped the screen a few times. "I found the dog thief, He Zhao. Holy crap, you're incredible. Lightning has been missing for 4 years and you actually found him? Wait, did you find the dog, or did you find the thief?" Shu Anon replied, emphasizing every single word. "Everything is right here." Then, she picked up the desk phone and dialed the number. Meanwhile, I was in the office next door, organizing the boss's schedule. The intercom on my desk rang out. Chao Chen, make 2 cups of coffee and bring them over. Wait, me? I mean, making coffee isn't exactly my job, is it? Isn't Fang Zheng the one who usually makes the coffee? Why ask me? Xu Anan paused when she heard my reply. If it's not you, then who? Me? Stop your whining and just go get it. Seriously, cut the crap and go. Yes, Boss Xu, I quickly replied. Hearing Xu Anan's tone on the phone, He Zhao almost choked on her lollipop. She then gave Xu Anan a thumbs up and said, Wow, you are awesome, Boss Xu. I can't believe you actually talked to your ex-boyfriend like that. I am his boss. Why shouldn't I talk to him like that? Speaking of which, why do you have so much free time today? Aren't you leaving? He Zhao paused for a second and asked back. Didn't you order 2 cups of coffee? I have been sitting here for half the day, don't I deserve to grab a cup of coffee before I go? Is this Miss Xu's idea of hospitality? Can't I drink 2 cups all by myself? I just really love coffee, so what? Alright, I will just wait for the day when those words come back to bite you, Boss Xu. HMPH, never gonna happen. You are not going to get that chance. A knock came at the door and I walked in carrying the 2 cups of coffee. Seeing He Zhao there, I felt a brief moment of surprise and awkwardness. She noticed me and took the initiative to say hi. Chao Chen, long time no see. Hello, bossy. He Zhao gave me a playful look and invited me, are you free? Let me take you out for a cup of coffee. I gave a polite smile and replied, of course. We can definitely hang out after work, bossy. The woman sitting at the desk watched our little interaction. Her expression instantly turned ice cold. Assistant Chao, do I need to remind you that you are currently on the clock? Xu Anan's freezing voice echoed in the room. Her tone carried a clear hint of displeasure. I chuckled softly to myself. She really is exactly the same as before. She never lets me get close to any other woman. She just gets so mad about it. Boss Xu, here is the coffee you asked for. Just as I turned around to leave, she let out a cold scoff. Did I say you could leave? Did I give you permission to go? Seeing how tense things were getting, He Zhao just laughed. I am out of here. I will leave you 2 alone to catch up. Only when the office door clicked shut did Xu Anan slowly look up and ask me. Assistant Chao, what exactly are the core responsibilities of an assistant? To fully support the boss in all of their work, of course. Xu Anan nodded slowly. She did not try to give me a hard time after that. She simply picked up her coffee and took a sip. The overwhelming sweetness hit her instantly, almost choking her to death. You did this on purpose, did you not? I just kept my polite smile. Boss Xu. You told me to make coffee, but you never specified what kind. I usually just drink instant coffee myself. Actually, one of those 2 cups was not instant. I know her habits all too well, so I purposely gave her the instant one. You can fool him by putting it in her direction. But I would never do something like tricking a client. Xu Anan's fists clenched in anger. From now on, I'd sooner believe it's raining knives than ever trust a word out of Chao Chen's mouth again. After all the joking around, I finally shifted into work mode. I went over the day's schedule. Once I finished, Xu Anan simply gave a soft hum. She pulled a set of car keys from her pocket, tossed them onto the desk, and said to me, to replace your car. Oh, that won't be necessary, Ms. Xu. My whole car isn't even worth one of its tires. Besides, the insurance company already covered the damages. Is she just trying to throw money at me? Like mother, like daughter. They do things exactly the same way. I crashed your car, so I'm getting you a new one. It's only fair. Though, you could also choose to take the cash instead. Then, Xu Anan abruptly changed the subject. By the way, Assistant Chao, why haven't you added my contact info yet? What if I urgently need to reach you for something? Am I supposed to use the internal work chat? Just as she finished asking, I heard her eerie, low voice. So, are you going to accept my request right now? Or should I add you in the internal work chat to remind you? I immediately whipped out my phone, and accepted the request right in front of her. There, Ms. Xu, is that alright? Xu Anan nodded in satisfaction. You can get back to work now. Understood, Ms. Xu. But just then, as if she remembered something else, she called out. Chao Chen. I had only taken 2 steps toward the door. What is Xu Anan up to now? Couldn't she just say everything all at once? I quickly turned around, flashing my best professional smile. Do you have any other instructions, Ms. Xu? Do you only have this one phone number? My chest suddenly tightened. I gave a stiff nod and replied, yes, I do. Only then did Xu Anan wave her hand impatiently, dismissing me. She was afraid that if Chao Chen didn't leave right this second, she would lose control and hit him again. It's been 4 whole years. Why am I the only one still hurting over this? Chao Chen, are you ready for this? Since you dared to barge back into my world, don't even think about running away again. Once I made it out of the CEO's office, I patted my chest, feeling like I had just survived a deadly disaster. I couldn't shake the feeling that Xu Anan was acting completely different from her usual self today. But then it suddenly hit me. I hadn't installed any security cameras at my new place yet. I quickly went online and ordered 2 cameras. Later on, during lunch, I scanned the entire staff cafeteria but didn't see a trace of Shu Anon. Well, makes sense. She's the boss. Why would she ever eat at a place like this? While we were chatting, Fang Zheng chimed in. I really feel like Ms. Shu is awesome. That old slave driver Joe used to nitpick every little thing. Totally unlike Ms. Shu. She's so direct and straightforward. Oh, wait, what was it that old skinflint Joe used to say again? If I have to spell everything out for you, what the hell do I even need a secretary for? As we kept chatting, Yi Junhao brought up what happened to me this morning. Hey Chao Chen, what was up with you? Looked like you were running from a ghost this morning. You were in such a crazy rush. Don't even bring it up. I completely flipped my car on the way home last night. Whoa, are you hurt? I shook my head and filled them in on everything that went down last night. Yi Junhao and Fang Zheng exchanged a meaningful glance. There is definitely something fishy going on here. Then, their eyes lit up as they started interrogating me. Chao Chen, confess everything. Did you and Boss Shu know each other before? I mean, why else would she just crash your car for no reason? I gritted my teeth and replied. Of course it's because she's a total psycho. Yi Junhao and Fang Zheng's eyes went wide, and they quickly looked around. Yi Junhao put down his chopsticks. Bro, you really dare to say anything? We are in the cafeteria. If Boss Shu hears you, do you even want to live? Then Fang Zheng, who had been quiet this whole time, spoke up. Wait, are you two ex-lovers or something? I nodded and admitted it. Holy crap, so she's the ex-girlfriend you broke up with 4 years ago? I glared at them. Keep your voices down. Is this something to be proud of? Then Fang Zheng asked curiously. Did Boss Shu pay you for the car? She offered me a BMW, but I didn't dare to take it. You didn't dare? What's there to be afraid of? If I had a rich and gorgeous ex-girlfriend, even after we broke up, I'd still hook up with her for fun. I added in a low voice. But about me stealing her dog. I think she found out. Aha. Yi Junhao and Fang Zheng completely synchronized, giving me a solemn salute with their fists. Take care, bro. This whole stealing her dog thing. You absolutely cannot let that crazy woman know. Otherwise, with her ruthless ways of messing with you, she might actually call the cops. During nap time, maybe it was because Shu Anon was in the office right next to mine, but I laid on my desk and just couldn't fall asleep. I was afraid that, just like yesterday, I'd fall asleep and dream about her again. What a nightmare. Right before getting off work, I got a message from Shu Anon. Come to my office for a second. Having just shut down my computer, I picked up my phone, swiped it open, and mocked her bossy tone with a straight face. Come to my office. Who does she think she is, calling a dog? I scoffed with disdain and walked over to the CEO's office next door. Come in. I stood at the door, took a deep breath and pushed the door open. Boss Shu, you wanted to see me? Shu Anon was sitting in front of her computer screen. She pointed at the sofa. I noticed a few gift bags resting on it. Don't tell me she wants me to sit on the sofa and wait? Knowing how much Shu Anon despises me, I'd be lucky if she didn't make me wait on my knees. Seeing me just standing there, Shu Anon finished speaking, muted her online meeting, and said to me, There are clothes on the sofa. Pick a suit and put it on. Me? Change? Who else? Hurry up. Don't hold me up. I tried to decline. Boss Shu, I think the clothes I'm wearing are perfectly fine. There's no need to change. Shu Anon let out a cold laugh, and mockingly said, Are you planning to wear that cheap-looking suit to accompany your boss to meet a major client? Cheap? Shu Anon was taking this way too far. This was my absolute most expensive business suit. Is there something wrong with her brain? Then I shot back. I think there's something wrong with your sense of style, Boss Shu. A formal suit is the most appropriate for meeting clients. Seeing how stubborn I was, she gave a little smile, looked up playfully, and said, My meeting ends in exactly 5 minutes. You can stand there and struggle all you want. But if you still can't pick one out in 5 minutes, I wouldn't mind picking them out for you, one by one. I took 2 steps back, glared at her, and muttered, What a total psycho, as if I wouldn't know where to change. Shu Anon gave me a friendly reminder, There's a restroom inside. You can go change in there. I flat out refused. Shu Anon just nodded. The moment she stood up, I grabbed the bags and bolted straight into the lounge. Inside, I locked the door on instinct, letting myself calm down a bit. Before I finally looked around this lounge, which was about the size of my entire apartment. Still that same showroom style of hers. It really hasn't changed at all after all these years. I went through all the suits in the bags and finally picked out the most ordinary dark blue one. Just as I was about to button my shirt, she yelled, Open the door. My hand slipped, and I messed up the buttons in a panic, leaving my whole collarbone exposed. I muttered a curse under my breath. What's the damn rush? Shu Anon explained. Open up, I need to change too. I yelled back in frustration. I'm changing in here, I'll be out in a second. Just wait, I can't wait, we're out of time. When I opened the door, Shu Anon looked me up and down in my blue suit. Her face was completely blank, but in her head, she was thinking. What's wrong? Is it the wrong size? Why is he clutching his shirt? Miss Shu, I'll step out, freeze. I heard her and froze. Then, Shu Anon stepped toward me, looking totally impatient. I froze. Miss Shu, I know you're my boss, but you can't just... I felt it. Her fingers were already brushing against my buttons. Shu Anon shot me a look like I was a total idiot. A second later, she undid the buttons near my collarbone, and buttoned them up properly. There, all done. I was still staring at her in complete confusion. Turns out, she just wanted to fix my buttons. Shu Anon saw my reaction, and let out a soft laugh. Is Assistant Chow not leaving? Or do you want to stay and watch your boss change? I finally snapped out of it, scrambled to grab my old clothes and bolted out the door. Shu Anon pulled a blue evening gown from the closet, and slipped it on. Then, she thought back to when she used to fix A Chen's tie. A Chen was so handsome back then, but he's even more handsome now. She let out a bitter little laugh. Stop dreaming, Shu Anon. You're the one he threw away. As she looked down to smooth out her dress, she caught a glint of metal on the floor. It was a ring. From the looks of it, this had to be A Chen's. Shu Anon slipped it right into her purse. Meanwhile, back in my office, my pinky suddenly felt a bit too light. Oh crap, where's my ring? I had it on this morning. Where the hell did I drop it? When Shu Anon walked in, she saw me crouched on the floor, frantically searching for something. She pursed her red lips and asked, what are you doing? I'm looking for something, Ms. Shu. I lost my ring. Would it be okay if I checked your lounge? Fine, go look for it yourself. Shu Anon watched me walk away, pouting in frustration, thinking to herself, it's just a ring. Why does it seem like it's more important than me? I'm honestly getting jealous. Out of habit, she tidied up my things, then grabbed my keys and left the office. It was only later that she realized what she'd done. Shu Anon, you are seriously out of your mind. Are you addicted to taking care of him? It's been years since you two broke up. How does it still come so naturally? Old habits really are terrifying. When Shu Anon came back to the office, she caught me staring at the ground, muttering to myself. How could it just disappear? I know I had it this morning. I looked up as she walked in, noticing my keys in her hand. Ms. Shu, when did you get back? I reached out and took them. Thanks. Earlier, while you were changing. Did you happen to see a platinum ring? Shu Anon looked at me in confusion. I didn't see one. Was that ring expensive? I shook my head. No, it wasn't. But the person who gave it to me means a lot. Who gave it to you? How much do they mean to you? It's someone you wouldn't know. They mean everything to me. A flicker of sadness crossed her eyes, and she stared at me with a bitter look. That's when I suddenly remembered our dinner plans for tonight. Miss Shu, the dinner is starting soon. We should get going. Shu Anon nodded and headed out the door. I followed close behind her, wondering to myself, when we get to the car, who's supposed to drive? Am I driving her car? Or how does this usually work? The elevator dinged as we reached the underground parking garage. Right away, I spotted a black Mercedes executive van parked near the elevator. Seeing us approach, the driver opened the back door. Shu Anon stepped inside, but I just stood there, racking my brain. Where am I actually supposed to sit? Logically, I should sit in the back with the boss so we can talk about work. But I really didn't want to sit that close to Shu Anon. So annoying. She looked at me standing there like an idiot. What are you zoning out for? What? Do you expect a formal invitation to get in? Hearing that, I immediately pulled open the passenger door and got in. I gave the driver a polite nod. Hello, I'm Ms. Shu's new assistant, Chao Chen. The driver instinctively glanced back at the woman in the rear seat, unsure if he should respond. Shu Anon noticed him looking. She shot him a glare. Just drive. Why are you looking at me? Do you need something? Seeing that he wasn't going to get any clear instructions from her, the driver just gave me a polite smile. Nice to meet you. Hello, Assistant Chow. I'm Ms. Shu's driver. My name is Song Jia. You can just call me Song. Hearing that, I asked in confusion, are you Ms. Shu's driver? Where did that older guy from yesterday go? Seeing how friendly we were acting, Shu Anon let out a soft scoff. I had no idea Chao Chen was such a chatterbox. He barely says a word to me, but he sure loves chatting with everyone else. The way things are going. Maybe I should just drive and leave these two alone. Oh, him? That is my uncle. He went to fix Ms. Shu's car, so he could not make it today. I am filling in for him. We were having a great time chatting, when the woman in the backseat let out a soft sigh, and asked coldly, are we leaving or not? Or how about I drive up front, and you two sit in the back and keep chatting? Xiao Song quickly hit the button to close the door and replied to her. I am so sorry, Ms. Shu. Please fasten your seatbelt. We are heading out now. The car started to move. Song Ja and I stopped talking. I started racking my brain, trying to remember where I dropped my ring. Then I opened the secretary group chat and asked Fang Zheng and Zhen Hao, but they both said they had not seen it. It was making me so frustrated. Meanwhile, from where Shu Anan was sitting, she had a clear view of my phone screen. She cleared her throat to get my attention. Assistant Chow. Did you always play on your phone when accompanying your previous bosses to see clients? I froze for a second, then put my phone away. I am sorry, Ms. Shu. I was just replying to a message. I did not glance at my phone again after that. Finally, the car pulled up to the hotel. Xiao Song turned around and asked, Ms. Shu, do you need me to go in with you? I looked at Song Ja in surprise. Shu Anan just shook her head. No need, Xiao Song, go grab something to eat. Just come back in 2 hours. After getting out of the car, I naturally swapped numbers with Song Ja. Seeing this, Shu Anan glared at me, clearly annoyed. She thought to herself, Ah Chen, I am really getting angry now. Why do you ignore me when I try to add you, but you are so eager to add everyone else? It breaks my heart. Without waiting for me, Shu Anan stormed straight into the hotel. Inside the private room, there were 6 business partners waiting. 2 of them even brought male companions. Shu Anan scanned the room and addressed the group. I am so sorry, everyone. I am late. Not at all, not at all. We're just early. Quick, go pour Ms. Shu a glass of wine. A man sitting nearby stood up, but Shu Anan immediately raised her hand to stop him. That will not be necessary, Mr. Liu. I brought my own companion. I caught her drift instantly. I grabbed the wine decanter from the table and poured half a glass for both of us. Even a boss like Shu Anan could not avoid drinking, let alone a corporate slave like me. Besides, I was already in a bad mood from losing my ring. So I really needed to step out for some fresh air. I leaned in and whispered to Shu Anan, Ms. Shu, I need to use the restroom. Shu Anan gave a soft hum of approval. But just as I grabbed my phone and turned to leave, I heard a creepy voice ring out. Hey babe, what are you doing here all alone? Come over here and have a little drink with me. If I'm in a good mood, I just might sign that deal. Hearing these words, the loud and lively private room went completely dead silent. I quickly turned around, only to see a pot-bellied middle-aged man sizing up Shu Anan with a totally sleazy look. It was his first time at this kind of dinner, so he had no clue that the woman in front of him was the highly renowned CEO Shu. He thought she was just some boss's little assistant. So he brazenly started hitting on her. Hearing this, Shu Anan set down her wine glass. With a calmness that was almost freezing, she just stared at him indifferently. The air in the room instantly froze solid. The man was totally creeped out by her deadly stare and couldn't help but look away. Just as Shu Anan parted her red lips to speak, my voice rang out. CEO Shu, could you step outside for a second? There's something I need you for. I said those words with absolute clarity and steadiness. Shu Anan turned to look at me in surprise, a faint smile flashing in her eyes. Catching on instantly, she stood up and said, Excuse me for a moment, everyone. Finally, she cast a cold glance at the middle-aged man. By now, the guy's face was completely drained of color. Cold sweat was pouring down his forehead as he slumped helplessly in his chair. It's over. I'm completely ruined. I actually just offended the famous CEO Shu. The moment we stepped outside, Shu Anan's chest was heaving violently. She tried so hard to hold it in. I saw her fingertips trembling from pure anger. So I reached out and gently patted her back to comfort her. She didn't pull away from my touch. After a long, heavy silence, she finally spoke, her voice laced with a slight hoarseness. Chao Chen, do you have any candy? I nodded. Pulling one out of my pocket, I asked curiously. CEO Shu, what kind of candy are you looking for? I only have mints on me and they're not exactly sweet. Stop talking so much and just give it to me. She quickly tore off the wrapper and popped it right into her mouth. The sharp, icy flavor exploded on her tongue. The woman closed her eyes and took a deep breath, seemingly snapping back to her usual sharp, calm self. If this partnership wasn't so crucial for Chenon, and if I didn't need to leave a good impression, I would ruin that man and kick him out of the industry right now. Anan, what are you doing here? Suddenly, a familiar, gentle male voice echoed in the hall. A man walked right up to Shu Anan. Shu Anan looked at him and replied coldly, I have a dinner meeting with a client. Are you here alone? I came with my godmother. We're having dinner. Anan, do you want to come over and say hi to her? Shu Anan waved her hand dismissively. No, I'm not going. I'd rather not ruin everyone's mood. Saying that, she brushed past him, ready to leave. But the man called out to her. Anan, it's been so long since you've been home. Do you really not miss home at all? I stood to the side, curiously observing this man. This guy, he is the one from 4 years ago. Is that the guy who was looking at wedding dresses with Shu Anan at the mall? He looks a bit familiar. Hearing their conversation, I took a step back. Why? What's the point of me going home? I'm not welcome in her house anyway. Anon, it's been 4 years already. I know godmother was in the wrong. But Shen Heng, who the hell do you think you are? What gives you the right to tell me what to do? Without even waiting for Shen Heng's reaction, she just stormed off ahead. I quickly stumbled back a few more steps, afraid of getting dragged into it. Why on earth are those two arguing anyway? And why won't Shu Anon go home? It's so weird. Thinking about it, I figured I shouldn't stick around. It'd be best to just head back to the private room and wait for her. But when I got to the door and saw what was going on inside, I suddenly felt this wave of annoyance. So, I just leaned against the wall outside, and started thinking back to the times when Shu Anon and I were together. I remembered her cute little dimples when she smiled, and how adorable she was when she pouted. I remembered the day we broke up, how she had tears in her eyes, begging me to stay. And then I thought about her now. My boss, so cold and distant. Every single side of her. I just couldn't get her out of my head. What are you doing standing out here? It's a bit awkward to go in right now. Shu Anon took one look inside the private room, and then turned to me. I'll go grab your jacket. You go pay the bill. We'll meet up in the lobby. And with that, using a sudden meeting as an excuse, she grabbed my jacket and left. After I settled the bill, I found a quiet corner to sit down and wait for her. Just then, I saw a dozen or so people walking out together. Right in the middle was Shu Anon's mother, and the guy talking to her was Shu Anon's so-called fiancé. Luckily, I was sitting in a blind spot. If they weren't looking closely, they'd never spot me. Shu Anon, still carrying my suit jacket, walked right into her mother the second she stepped out. Anon. Shu Anon froze in her tracks. Mom, oh, so you still remember I'm your mother? You come back to the country and don't even bother coming home. It's been years. Are you done throwing this tantrum? A tantrum? So, in your eyes, these past few years have just been a joke to me? But then again, you've always been a control freak. Why would you ever respect my choices? I am your mother. Shu Anon, is that how you speak to me? If you weren't my mother, do you really think I'd just settle for not coming home? After dropping that, she completely ignored the two of them and just kept walking. Her mother spotted the men's suit jacket in her hands and screamed. Shu Anon, stop right there. What kind of man are you fooling around with now? And another thing, you saw I hang, why didn't you even say hello? You have absolutely no manners anymore. That's none of your business. And I don't need you telling me what to do. Without even looking back, she stormed out of the hotel. Godmother, you know how her temper is. Please, don't let it get to you. Oh, hang. It's her loss if she can't see how great you are. No matter what, you're the only son-in-law I'll ever accept for our Shu family. I waited until they were completely gone. Before I finally got up from my corner and headed out, my mind still racing over their conversation. Why would Shu Anon do this? Was she unhappy with the marriage her family arranged for her? But even if she wasn't happy about it, didn't she still get married? Her mother clearly said that Shen Heng is the Shu family's son-in-law. Just when I was completely puzzled by all this, my phone rang. I saw that familiar string of numbers on the screen, and answered it. What are you doing now? Where are you? I'm coming right now. In the parking lot, Shu Anon was leaning against a car, holding my jacket in one hand. She kept her head down, her expression dark and unreadable. Hearing my footsteps, she finally looked up and asked, "Where did you go? Didn't I tell you to wait for me in the lobby?" I casually made up an excuse. I was just taking a phone call in the corner by the entrance. She nodded, then got into the car. Seeing that I hadn't moved, she gave me a strange look. Aren't you getting in? Do you want to get off work or not? I then got into the car, and we left the hotel. As we merged onto the highway, Xiao Song asked, Boss Shu, are we heading back to the office or dropping Chao Chen home first? Drop him off first. Brother Chen, where do you live? Hearing him call me that, Shu Anon frowned and spoke up. Xiao Song, what did you just call him? Brother Chen, what's wrong, Boss Shu? Are you too close? Faced with the boss's interrogation, Song Jia was a bit flustered. I live near the office at the Shan Shui Jiaju residential area. Do you know how to get there? I know. Along the way, Shu Anon kept her eyes closed and didn't say a word. Meanwhile, I was still trying to figure out where on earth I dropped my ring. The company is huge. If I didn't drop it in the office, it's going to be really hard to find. Brother Chen, we're here. Car parked at the neighborhood gate. I got out and said goodbye to Xiao Song and Shu Anon. Thanks, Xiao Song. Boss Shu, I'll head out now. See you tomorrow. Through the half-lowered car window, Shu Anon watched my back until I completely disappeared from sight, then finally told Xiao Song to drive. Then she added to Xiao Song, go ask if there are any available apartments on the 8th floor of building 16 in this neighborhood. Renting or buying, either is fine. Get it sorted out within 2 weeks. Boss Shu, you want to live here? It's close to the office. Is there a problem? No problem, it's just, why does it have to be the 8th floor of building 16? Would other floors not work? Why do you have so many questions since coming back from abroad? When I tell you to go, just go. Alright. Inside the empty villa, Shu Anon sat on the couch. She reached out and pulled the ring out, dangling it in front of her eyes. It's just a worthless ring. How could someone even give such a shabby gift? It makes me feel dirty just looking at it. But if Ah Chen saw this ring in the trash can, he would definitely fight me to the death. Shu Anon went upstairs to take a shower, then came back down to pour herself a glass of water. She stared at the ring for a moment, then bent down and fished it right out of the trash. Meanwhile, as soon as I got home and walked through the door, Lightning pounced right on me. He looked so pitiful, wagging his tail and running in circles around me. Looking completely exhausted, I hung my coat on the hook by the door, bent down, and scooped Lightning up into my arms. I'm sorry, buddy, I'm home late. I went over to double-check the food and water I'd left for him this morning. Seeing he'd eaten gave me some peace of mind. I sat down on the couch, holding him tight. I didn't turn on the lights. The only glow in the house came from a tiny motion sensor nightlight. I installed it on purpose, just in case I came home late and Lightning got scared in the dark. I gently stroked his fur, and the bitter ache in my chest just wouldn't stop. I poured my heart out to him. Lightning, what am I going to do? I lost the ring my mom gave me. I couldn't hold on to Shu Anon, and I couldn't even keep my mom's ring safe either. I'm so useless. Lightning must have sensed my sadness, because he gently licked my hand. I was feeling incredibly down. I could only keep petting him to soothe my nerves. Lightning, thank goodness I have you right here with me. Otherwise, I don't know how I would have survived these last 4 agonizing years. After taking a shower, I made sure to take Lightning downstairs for a walk. I went a bit out of my way to the corner convenience store, and said to the owner, "Can I get a can of lemon soda, please?" As I was getting my phone out to scan and pay, I paused for a few seconds, and added, "Actually, let me grab some mints, too. Thank you so much." Well, whatever. It's not like I'm going to fall for anyone else anyway. Looks like it's just you and me depending on each other, buddy. Today was Saturday, so I didn't have to go to work. I got up bright and early and started cleaning the house. Then I dropped a location pin in the group chat, telling Yi Junhao and the guys to come over for hot pot. We could treat it as a housewarming party, just to bring some life and energy into the place. You be a good boy and stay home, Lightning. Daddy's going to buy groceries and make you something delicious. There was a market and a mall right near the neighborhood. As I walked, I couldn't help but grumble to myself. Shu Anon is completely out of her mind. Does she seriously have nothing better to do? Why the hell did she ram into my car? Well, this is just great. Now I have to walk everywhere. What a massive pain in the ass. Whatever, maybe I should just buy another car. With both my hands completely full of groceries, I grumbled and cursed all the way back home. Ah, sure enough, Lightning heard me coming and trotted out of the room. Chao Chen, control your dog. You've had this dog for years, why does he still bark at me? I've told him a million times, I'm your cousin, not your girlfriend. I was putting things away in the kitchen when I heard Meng Yue's rant. I just chuckled. Come here, Lightning. Stop barking at people, buddy. Good boy. I mean, I'm literally a fitness coach, and here I am, terrified of a pet dog. It's so ridiculous, but you can't blame me for being scared. 3 years ago, when your dad passed away, I just gave you a hug, and this stupid dog bit me so hard I had to go get a tetanus shot. He really is a dumb dog. Why did you buy so much food again? There's no way we can finish it all. I'm already freeloading, how could I show up empty-handed? I rolled my eyes at him. Then I asked, where is Fang Zheng? Where is he? Why isn't he here yet? He should be here soon. Yi Junhao replied. Then he turned his head, and saw Meng Yue putting his shoes into the shoe cabinet. He spoke up, looking a bit embarrassed. Yue, sorry for the trouble. I shouldn't be making you put my shoes away. It's no trouble at all. I'll head to the kitchen to wash the vegetables. You guys chat. Yi Junhao's eyes followed Meng Yue as she walked away. Earth to Junhao, if you like her, just go for it. Don't worry, she doesn't have a boyfriend. No way, I better just drop it. I'm too insecure, I'm scared she'll reject me. I looked at him in complete disbelief. You? Insecure? Junhao, please don't make me laugh. Who's the guy sending me all that weird, random nonsense every single day, huh? Hearing this, Yi Junhao's eyes nervously darted around the room. Not long after that, Fang Zheng arrived with his girlfriend. How can you celebrate a new place without a cake? Here's wishing you happiness and sweetness every day in your new home. Thanks, everyone. Come on, take a seat. Just as we were about to cut the cake, Yi Junhao pulled out his phone for a group photo. Come on, let's take a picture before we cut the cake. 3, 2, 1. Meanwhile, Shu Anan, who had just finished swimming, checked her phone and saw a screenshot of a social media post sent by He Zhao. Holy crap, the dog thief you were talking about. Could it actually be your precious Ah Chen? This picture is just too funny. Looks like your darling Ah Chen found a stepmom for your dog. Shu Anan backed out of their chat. She clicked on my profile, but my timeline was empty. She then checked the feeds of her other two secretaries, and saw the exact same photo He Zhao had posted. Shu Anan immediately made a phone call. Where did you get that screenshot? From Chao Chen's post, of course. The call abruptly ended. He Zhao clicked her tongue in annoyance. Oh, this is just great. I was so furious I actually laughed. Meng Yue, on the other hand, stared at me in absolute shock. Ah Chen, since when did you steal a dog? Isn't this your own dog? I ignored her questions and turned straight to the police officers. Officers, can I just ask one thing? Was the person who reported this named Shu? I'm sorry, we cannot disclose the caller's information. I nodded, completely understanding their position. Could you wait for me to pack up a bit before I go with you? They nodded in agreement. Then, Meng Yue stepped in to plead for me. Officers, my brother has raised this dog for years. You can't just accuse him of stealing it. Just because someone else lost theirs. Could you guys head out first? I'll go to the station with him to act as a witness. Alright, bring the dog with you, too. With that, the door closed behind them. Meng Yue immediately turned to me. Was it your ex-girlfriend who called the cops? Judging by the situation, I guess so. Wait, haven't you had this dog since college? Why would your ex claim you stole her dog? We actually raised it together. But she's the one who paid for it. Meng Yue followed closely behind me as I spoke. So after you guys broke up, she didn't even know you took the dog? Didn't you hear her? She's claiming I stole the dog. Meng Yue was a bit speechless, so she could only comfort me, saying, It's fine. If she wants it, we'll just give it back. I can always just buy you a new one. I didn't say a word, just held the dog and walked out of the elevator. After getting in the car, I stared out the window in a daze. Meng Yue asked curiously, Hey Chen, are you still in touch with your ex-girlfriend? How should I put it? I guess you could say that. You either are, or you aren't. What does I guess even mean? I really don't get you. Well, because, she's my direct boss now. Holy crap, so she called the cops just to mess with you? I'd really like to know too. What crazy phase is Shu Anan going through this time? The car pulled up to the curb outside the police station. I could already see the woman standing by the entrance. She looked completely different from how she was at the office. Meng Yue whispered, That's her, right? She's really pretty. But why is she so vicious? Yeah, that's her. Yue, you should head back. I can handle the rest on my own. Shu Anan doesn't know Meng Yue, but she's extremely possessive of me. I was worried Shu Anan wouldn't take kindly to her, so having Meng Yue leave was the best option. No way, how can I just ditch you here alone? If my parents found out, they'd definitely scold me. As I was getting out of the car, the dog in my arms seemed to sense something and wouldn't stop squirming. I scolded it, feeling a bit annoyed. You haven't even seen her yet, and you're already this excited. Lightning, you really are an ungrateful little rascal. In a minute, you get to go home with mommy. You'll never see daddy again. When Meng Yue and I walked up together, Shu Anan saw us. Let out a cold sneer and went inside. Inside the police station, a lawyer was standing next to Shu Anan. Before anyone could say a word, Meng Yue's phone rang. After she finished her call, I said, Go ahead and handle your business. I'll just catch a cab back later. Meng Yue didn't want to leave, but she really had things to do. She couldn't keep her big client waiting. Alright then, call me if you need anything. Stop nagging and just go. My impatience, in Shu Anan's eyes, looked like I was being intimate with another woman. Seeing another woman touch him, it really breaks my heart. But right now, there's nothing I can do about it. Shu Anan glanced at her lawyer, who then placed a stack of documents in front of me. Mr. Chow, this is the purchase receipt from when Miss Shu bought the dog 6 years ago. Along with the registration papers filed before the dog went missing. I rubbed the dog's head, then asked resignedly, What proof do you have that this dog is yours? All dogs of this breed look exactly the same. Does Miss Shu have any actual proof? Lightning has a burn scar on his right front paw pad. You can check for yourself, Mr. Chow. We need to check the dog's right paw. I sighed and put the dog on the table. There's no need to look. The dog is hers, but I didn't steal him. We were together back then. Even though she bought him, we raised him together, so me taking him wasn't stealing. Shu Anan had absolutely no idea that I went back to our apartment 4 years ago. She was completely drowning in the pain of our breakup, and with the dog missing. She was so desperate to find him that she never even considered I'd go back. The officer stayed quiet for a moment before speaking up. Mr. Chow, since Miss Shu bought the dog, according to civil law, he has to be returned to her. I just nodded. I didn't say a word. Shu Anon gave a faint smirk. She tapped her fingers on the table twice and called out, "Lightning, come here, come to mommy." The dog, who had been excitedly doing spins right in front of me, instantly bolted into her arms. What an ungrateful little traitor. I raised him for years. And he abandons me just like that. I stood up and asked, "Excuse me, but am I free to go now?" The officer glanced at Shu Anon, and she signaled her lawyer to handle the paperwork. I didn't even give the dog a second glance and turned to walk away. Shu Anon stood up with the dog in her arms, held out her hand, and demanded, "Give it back." I stopped in my tracks, looking back in confusion. Give what back? Didn't you just want the dog? You have him. I didn't take anything else. Shu Anon pursed her red lips and said, "The leash and the little charm on it. We made that together. What, you don't want to give it back? Can't I just have it shipped to you? Are you really in that much of a rush to get away? There's no need for all that trouble. I'll go with you to get it." She walked right past me with the dog in her arms. I just followed behind her. Once we got outside, I refused to get in her car and took a taxi home instead. When I arrived at my apartment building, Shu Anon was already there, staring blankly at the flower beds. The dog was happily running in circles around her legs. I walked past her, went inside, and pressed the elevator button. Shu Anon saw me and followed me right in. As the elevator went up, neither of us said a word, but just as I was about to scan my fingerprint at my door, I heard her voice. 4 years ago, did you go back to the apartment because you wanted to get back together? I immediately shot back. You're overthinking it, I just happened to be passing by. She slowly took a step closer and I instinctively backed away. Until my back was completely pinned against the door. She looked deep into my eyes and whispered, "Passing by? Ah Chen, you're just as stubborn as you've always been. Since when does passing by mean taking the elevator all the way up? Since when does passing by mean conveniently taking the dog with you? When you took Lightning away, did you ever even care how hurt I'd be? How broken my heart would be? Well, I'm giving him back to you now, aren't I?" My feigned indifference made Shu Anon's little face flush completely red with anger, and then, completely recklessly, she just stood on her tiptoes and kissed me. The second her warm lips pressed against mine, I wanted to shove her away immediately, but a part of me just couldn't bear to. Caught in a messy storm of emotions, my hands instinctively wrapped around her waist. And I took control. "It's been 4 long years, Shu Anon. Did you really think you were the only one hurting? But since you delivered yourself right to my door today, then I'm not going to hold back anymore." Eventually, Shu Anon bit me hard. You forced yourself on me." I laughed out of pure disbelief. I snapped right back at her, "Princess, you better think carefully. Who exactly started this?" Then, I pushed her away. I opened the door and left it ajar, but Shu Anon just slammed it shut from the outside. She stood out there, dazed for a moment, and then furiously stomped her foot. "Chao Chen, you're such a jerk. I don't like you anymore." Beside her, Lightning scratched at the door with his paws, while she gently stroked his head. Without saying a word, not long after, the door opened again. I stood there carrying 2 huge bags, and told her, "Everything you wanted is in here. The food, the toys, all of it. I know you have the money to buy him new ones, but these are what he's used to. You can wait until he settles in before replacing them. Also, this is the suit you gave me. I've had it dry cleaned. And one more thing, Ms. Shu. There's quite a lot here, and it's heavy. You might want to call your driver over to give you a hand. You probably won't be able to carry all this by yourself." My voice choked up a bit. Why did I even have to pick a fight? I knew perfectly well the dog was with him, but seeing Ah Chen being so intimate with someone else, it just made my heart ache. So, I could only use this stupid way to get his attention. But, it seems I messed everything up. Well, since you've got everything, you should get going. Don't ever come to my place again. Just as I was about to shut the door, a hand blocked it. With her eyes completely red, Shu Anon said she'd just call a courier and then pleaded, "Ah Chen, do we really have to draw such clear lines between us? Weren't you the one who started drawing lines, Shu Anon? I've given back everything that was between us. Now, please, get out of my house right this second." "Chao Chen, that's not what I meant. Please, just listen to me. I don't want Lightning anymore. I'll give him back to you, okay? Shu Anon, stay away from my place. I never want to see you again." Hearing those words, she desperately started punching numbers into my door lock, trying to force her way in to settle things face to face. She tried password after password, but every single one was wrong. She completely broke down. Crouching down, she pulled Lightning into her arms, tears uncontrollably streaming down her face. It was as if she was letting out all the endless longing and heartbreak she had kept inside. Once she finally managed to calm down a little, she turned around to leave. Later, I stood silently by the window and watched her holding the dog, carrying the heavy bags as she walked away, before I finally stepped back into the living room. But the moment I went back inside, Shu Anan stopped in her tracks and turned to look up at the 8th floor window. After staring blankly for a long time, I finally headed back to the living room. Opening the door, I saw the bag holding my suit just sitting there at the entrance. I dragged the bag inside, shut the door, and slumped heavily onto the sofa. I grabbed a lollipop from the drawer under the coffee table and popped it in my mouth. That sweet taste instantly flooded my senses. Meanwhile, Shu Anan hopped into her car, hugging the dog. Lightning was over the moon, finally reunited with his mommy. He was in such an incredibly excited state, completely oblivious to the fact that he just lost his daddy. What on earth are you so happy about? Your daddy is heartbroken. It's all your fault. Why are you acting so happy? This whole mess is on you. I'm just a quiet, handsome doggy. What did I do wrong? Shu Anan whipped out her phone and frantically texted Chao Chen, "Chen, I was wrong. Please don't be mad. I'll drop lightning off at your door and just leave." But the very second she hit send, a glaring red exclamation mark popped up. Shu Anan froze for a second, and then her frustration totally boiled over. Putting aside the fact that I'm his ex-girlfriend, I'm still his direct boss, for crying out loud. Chao Chen, you've really outdone yourself. You actually had the nerve to block your own boss. Still furious at me, Shu Anan angrily pinched Lightning's little cheeks to vent her frustration. Then, she tapped on that pinned WeChat contact saved as baby. Chen, I'm so sorry. Shu Anan's whole world crashed down again. It was another big, red exclamation mark. Glancing in the rearview mirror, Xiao Song saw the wildly happy dog, and a boss who looked like she was about to burst into tears. He was totally confused. Wait, isn't that the dog from Chen's social media? Why did Miss Shu take him? Boss, did you steal Chen's dog? Shut up, you talk way too much. Xiao Song was hit with a furious glare out of nowhere. He was the one who coldly dumped her without a single word of explanation. And he was the one who sneaked back to the apartment to steal the dog away. He was even acting all cozy with another woman. That damn Chao Chen. I really do hate you the most. Ever since I got back from the police station, and after I blocked Shu Anan on WeChat over Lightning, my place suddenly felt incredibly empty. Without my little corgi sticking to me day and night, I couldn't sleep for nights on end. On Monday, I went to work as usual, holding the schedule reports in my hands. I walked deadpan into the CEO's office. Miss Shu, here is your itinerary for this week. If there's nothing else, I'll be heading back to my desk. Wait, take me off your block list. We have the company chat for work. That's more than enough to communicate. There's zero need for personal contact. As I turned to leave, her voice drifted over. We raised Lightning together for 4 whole years. Can you really just throw all that away so easily? I didn't stop walking, but my heart ached unbearably. Sure, she bought the dog, but I was the one feeding and caring for him every single day for 4 years. The painful truth about why I was forced to break up with her back then. I couldn't breathe a single word of it. And now, after aggressively taking him back, she had the nerve to ask if I could just let it all go. She really knew exactly where to stab me in the chest. After work, as I walked out, Meng Yue was waiting for me. Since your dog is gone, I'll take you out to clear your head. No thanks, just take me home. And help me book a black Wuling. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of Shu Anan sitting inside a Maibach by the street. She was glaring daggers right at us. The week flew by, and suddenly it was Friday. Shu Anan called me into her office. Headquarters needs me to fly over there. Here, this is my current address. Come over and walk the dog for me every day after work. I wanted to say no. But honestly, I really missed the little guy. Lately, I've been dreaming at night. Dreaming about the day we broke up 4 years ago. Back then, I forced myself to say I didn't love her. But I was forced into it by her mother and Shen Heng. They used my late parents' house as leverage, and threatened me with Shu Anan's future, forcing me to walk away. I had no other choice but to agree. Pulling myself out of my thoughts, I replied in a serious tone. Understood, Ms. Shu. I will book the flight right away. After I booked the flight and made sure Shu Anan took off, I grabbed a cab straight to her villa. The housekeeper, Auntie Wang, opened the door, and Lightning immediately bounded over, running in circles around me. Auntie Wang smiled and said, Lightning just got brought back, and he's been fussing all day. It's been days, and this is the first time I've seen him this excited. For 5 straight days, I left work early to come play with the dog. Every time it happened to be mealtime. Their hospitality was hard to turn down, so I'd always stay for dinner at the villa before heading out. Friday evening, Shu Anan rushed back overnight. I brought some pastries over, planning to wrap up my dog-sitting duties. But as soon as I walked in, I saw Shen Heng sitting in the living room, acting like he owned the place. Mr. Chow. Sit down, let's have a chat. About Annan these past 4 years, there's no need. I was just doing my job feeding the dog. I'm done here, so I'll be leaving. I deliberately stepped away from Lightning as he ran up to me, not wanting anything to do with Shen Heng. After walking out, I suddenly remembered Lightning was due for a vaccine the next day. I turned back to remind them, only to see Shen Heng secretly walking the dog toward the lake. Lightning was terrified of water. Why the hell was he taking him near the water? I quietly followed them, and watched with my own eyes as Shen Heng pretended to slip, dropping Lightning straight into the freezing lake. The April water was bone-chilling. I didn't have time to think. I dropped my things and jumped in to save the dog, wrapping my arms around the shivering little guy. Once we were ashore, I swung my fist right at that bastard's face. 4 years ago, you forced me to leave Anon. And now you're taking it out on a damn dog? He raised his hand to hit back, but I grabbed his wrist tight. I didn't have time to fight with him. Lightning was completely traumatized. I hurried him straight to the vet. After making sure the pup was safe, I was completely soaked. Running a low fever and walked home alone. I tore the house apart but couldn't find any cold medicine, so I just ordered some for delivery. The doorbell rang. I opened the door and there stood Shu Anon. She reached out and felt my forehead, her tone. Furious. Why jump in the lake yourself? Couldn't you just call security? Did you really have to go in and freeze yourself? I was already feeling terrible, and had no energy to argue. It's your dog. I saved his life, and now you're lecturing me? How does that make any sense? She just barged right in, noticing an unused pair of women's slippers by the shoe rack. Her eyes lingered on them, and she asked hesitantly, your girlfriend's? I couldn't be bothered to explain. She just assumed my silence was a yes. But seeing me in this state, she just couldn't bear to interrogate me. She had no choice but to take out the cold medicine she carried, glaring at me intensely until I swallowed it right in front of her. Then, she sat down next to me and said softly, I saw everything on the villa's security footage. I couldn't help but let out a cold scoff, purposely hitting her where it hurts. So, is President Shu here to settle the score for her arranged fiancé? That engagement was purely my mother's wishful thinking. I never agreed to marry Shen Heng. The truth about why you were forced to leave me back then. I've investigated everything. As soon as she finished speaking, she suddenly leaned in and bit me. Just to get away. I immediately dialed Meng Yuwei's number. I'm running a fever. Can you come over and take care of me? When Shu Anon heard my intimate tone, her expression instantly dropped. Seeing how stubbornly I refused to even look at her, she finally decided to leave. But she ended up running right into Meng Yuwei at the elevators. Meng Yuwei didn't even notice Shu Anon. She just kept her head down and walked quickly, muttering to herself, he's got a fever again. He definitely kicked his blankets off in his sleep. Hearing those words, Shu Anon felt so incredibly hurt and wronged. Back at the villa, Shu Anon started drinking all by herself the moment she got home. Her mother called, still aggressively, forcing her to marry Shen Heng in exchange for the family's inheritance rights. You used Chao Chen to force our breakup back then. Don't you dare dream of controlling my marriage now. And I will absolutely not let Shen Heng get away with hurting the dog. Meanwhile, I lay awake on the couch all night. The truth was right there in front of me. What stood between us was no longer just petty pride, but the Shu family's complicated background, her overbearing elders, and that scheming Shen Heng. Lightning was still under observation at the vet hospital. From now on, with Shu Anon, should I take a step forward? Or should I keep pushing her away? I had no answers at all.